I've always chased the razor's edge of creation, that fragile line where art bleeds into the divine or the infernal. As a kid in that stifling apartment, blank canvases mocked me, but nightmares clawed deeper, colors whispering from the void, seeping into my skin like ink from a burst vein, promising genius if I surrendered my mind. Art wasn't just passion. It was a hungry void I filled with brilliance or madness. Now, as leader of our ragged collective, I convinced my friends, Sarah with her wild sketches capturing dream chaos, Marcus, the brooding sculptor molding clay into raw fury, and Lena, our color theorist whose eyes pierced hidden spectra, to join my desperate pilgrimage to a forsaken Appalachian cave. Galleries had rejected us repeatedly, their words like venom. Derivative, uninspired, soulless. But shadowy forums and dusty folklore hinted at ancient murals there, pigments untouched by time, hues that could twist reality itself. I sold it as our breakthrough. Deep down, we knew it was a deal with the unknown. The argument erupted on the drive up those twisting mountain roads, autumn leaves blazing in mocking oranges and reds. Sarah slammed her sketchbook shut. "This is your madness, not ours," she snapped, her voice sharp as her feral lines. "Dragging us into some hole for your obsessions? What if those foremornings are real? Colors that consume the artist?" Marcus grunted agreement. His hands clenched like they were shaping defiant clay. Lena stayed quiet, but her gaze flicked to the shifting foliage, murmuring, "The light here, it's wrong, like it's watching." I pushed back, visions from my childhood flickering, colors bleeding from my arms, fueling my fever. "This is our shot at eternity," I insisted, ignoring the dread twisting in my gut. The cave mouth gaped like a scarred wound, hidden in vines, breathing out a chill laced with buried stones' bite. Inside, the tunnels coiled into damp, echoing mazes, air thick with clinging moisture like a second skin. Flashlights cut the dark, revealing dripping stalactites and quartz veins sparkling like trapped stars. We crawled through tight passages, rocks scraping our hands raw, a low hum vibrating in our chests like the earth's hidden pulse. Whispers rose, not voices, but a deep drone that set my teeth on edge, echoing my nightmares. Marcus growled about turning back, his blistered fingers twitching as if recalling sculptures that warped against his will. Sarah sketched feverishly, capturing twisted rock forms, while Lena noted glowing fungi in unnatural blues, their light, cold, and alive. Then a streak of pigment grazed her arm, questing like a finger from the shadows. She flinched, whispering, "It tastes like forgotten memories, bitter, metallic." We found the murals in a vast chamber, twisted figures in agony or ecstasy, painted in impossible shades, reds throbbing like raw hearts, blues whispering like ghost waves, black swallowing light into endless pits. The pigments felt alive, born from the cave's slime. "Colors from before time," I breathed, echoes distorting my words. We scraped them into jars, the stuff clinging like it resisted, viscous and watchful. Lena's eyes widened. They're changing in the light. Enemy, like they're aware. We fled with our haul, the cave sighing behind us, a warning or a curse. The drive back blurred into unease, jars humming softly in our packs, pressing like watchful eyes. Autumn leaves seemed to shift, reds bleeding unnaturally as if tracking us, stirring my old visions, colors invading my skin. By the time we reached our dingy warehouse studio, the thrum had grown, a subtle vibration syncing with city traffic's roar. We mixed the pigments under flickering lights, the air sharp with turpentine and something metallic, otherworldly. Lena hesitated. They feel like eyes staring back. But we continued. The blends came alive, canvases breathed under our brushes, colors twitching in response. Sarah's drawings writhed on the page, Marcus's clay twisted subtly. Lena's mixes evoked raw emotions, purples stirring deep sorrow, yellows sparking mad joy. Glory teased us, but the pulse intensified, a warning beat. That endless night broke us. The studio swam in shadows and sweat, coffee mugs piling like ruins. Sarah laughed hysterically as her portrait's eyes followed her, whispering of merging with chaos. Marcus hammered a bust, clay yielding like flesh, but it clawed back, raking his skin with patterns from his own primal furies. Lena clutched her head, colors assaulting her senses, tasting like dread, promising infinite hues if she gave in. I painted with Lena, brushes gliding too perfectly, but then it stirred. A red drop slid from my canvas, crawling like spilled blood. Pigments oozed from every place, pooling into a writhing mass, a living horror reshaping with ancient malice. These weren't paints. They were guardians of an earth-born terror, sealed in the murals by shamans who knew the cost. The mass swelled, tendrils lashing with the cave's hum. Madness hit like a storm, brushstrokes peeled from walls, slithering like snakes, hissing forgotten tongues that drilled into my brain. Surrender your visions for endless art. The air crackled, lights buzzing, shadows dancing wildly. Marcus screamed as his sculpture's shades carved into him, oozing glowing fluid, twisting his fury into pain. They're inside me. Make it stop. He clawed at himself, face contorted. Lena whimpered, phantom colors flooding her mouth with bitter fear, eyes glazing as they offered forbidden spectra. The entity hungered for our minds, feeding on creativity like fuel. We barricaded the door, but it seeped through cracks, spreading to the city. Streets became a nightmare gallery. Traffic lights spat red vines, snaring people, dragging them into swirling pigment pools. Screams melting to slurps, billboards blared yellow, burning eyes, greens twisting guts into nausea, bodies jerking like poisoned puppets. A jogger warped into jagged angles, a barista's face dripped like wax, pleas lost in dissolving skin. Chaos reigned, sirens wailing as colors leaped from signs and walls, pulling victims into pulsing surfaces. From the window I saw pigeons explode in blue mist, reforming as predatory shapes diving at crowds. Sarah wandered off babbling, her body later found fused to a wall, skin a swirl of horror, eyes staring eternally. Marcus turned on me, chisel raised, eyes veined red. Your ambition did this. We fought on the slick floor. Shadows claimed him, twisting him into a screaming statue below. Lena and I fled to rooftops, the city below a twisted exhibit, families sculpted into anguished knots, buildings weeping golden tears, sky raining indigo horrors. We paused, breathless, wind carrying distant cries. Lena gripped me, face streaked. You started this. End it. You know the cave's secrets. Her voice shook, but resolve burned. Guilt tore at me, deeper than the colors in my veins. Visions of friends' faces, my childhood terrors realized. I was the fool who'd unleashed it. Back in the studio's ruin, walls breathing, canvases moaning, I faced it alone. Lena had fallen on the stairs, lost to visions, begging mercy. The entity loomed as a vortex of shades, lashing with violet and black, pulling me in. Ancient scenes flooded me, shamans binding it with sacrifices, warnings I'd ignored. In desperation, I grabbed a knife and the last jar, chanting fractured rites from the murals, words scorching my throat. It recoiled, but fought back, hues flooding my skin, veins pulsing with stolen colors. My body rippled, becoming a living canvas, screams echoing in vivid tones. With one final slash, I bound it to a massive canvas, the horror shrieking before flattening, trapped but simmering. The city quieted, colors fading to normalcy. Those scars remained, warped bodies, stained walls. We survived, but changed. The entity lurked under the sealed canvas in a hidden basement, tainting every shadow, every sunset too vivid. Lena retreated, her theories haunted. Months later, in a remote cabin, word came of a young artist mixing those pigments from a flea market find, entranced by their hum. With Lena we tracked him, arriving as colors stirred in his space. For redemption I smashed the jar and set the fire, flames roaring with the entity's rage. As it consumed us, my flesh melted into nothingness, the curse seeming to burn away. But in the ashes, a worker pocketed a shimmering shard, oblivious. The abyss hadn't died. It shifted into me, a lingering essence in the char. The cycle endured, patient, waiting for the next hand to spread its stain. Lena's last laugh echoed in my mind. Art never dies. It just changes form.